not debatable for me at all that running back is the best position in fantasy football. It's really not.
It's the position I enjoy most. I won't say
Nope.
best. I won't
It's
say best.
of course not. Of course not. We are back one more time. Ace and BQ here for the nitty gritty part. We are here starting our rankings. We'll have running back for you, obviously wide receiver, quarterback, tight end, but we're going to start with the greatness. We're going to start with running back, and we're just going to hop into our tiers. Like, it's very simple for us. We explained last episode. We do tiers as far as our positions. They are not going to be the same. We have not seen each other's. We are going to get live reaction, show breakdowns, how we value things. You'll be able to see exactly how we feel. Um, but again, we appreciate y'all joining us. Thank you. Remember, like, subscribe. Any questions you have, throw them in the comments. We'll be active with you. But we're just gonna go straight into it, man. I've been looking forward to this all day. Tier one running backs, 5 players for me. It wasn't 5 for a while. It wound up
Okay.
being 5 guys.
Okay.
And if you have any questions about how I rank
Is
these,
is there a
that's
clear
fine.
number one? Is there a clear number one just so I know, or is it like, oh nah, these five
You know what I
really are
mean? Look,
a full tier?
these 5 are a full tier. There's a clear number 4 and 5 for me though.
Okay,
S-
fair enough.
Tier
If
one for
there's a clear
me.
number five, I feel it needs to be a different tier. I'm just saying, but go ahead. Yes,
Yeah,
tier
but
one.
it's a clear. It's a clear
Tier
four
one.
and
No, no, no,
five.
no, no. Let's go
It's
tier
a
one. I
clear
want to hear
four and
this.
five though. There's a clear 4 and 5.
You know
Tier
what? You've done
one.
enough setup. I want to hear it. Tier one.
Baby.
Let's go.
I
Yeah.
listen. Derrick Henry,
Number
Jonathan
one.
Taylor. This is my number one
Uh,
tier. This is all one
okay,
tier.
okay, okay,
This is
okay.
all one group.
hmm
This is my
No,
if
no, no.
these
Fair enough.
this is my if this is my number one guys. I'm good money. I'm thrilled if this is my running back one. Thrilled.
Okay, okay. All right, all right.
Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, Christian
OTB.
McCaffrey, OTB, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook,
Hmm.
Dalvin Cook,
Huh.
Dalvin Cook.
That's interesting.
I had trouble
Huh.
putting Dalvin at 5 and not over 4 over McCaffrey.
I did not expect that to be the fifth.
Dalvin Cook. I think
Huh.
we're going to see over the course of these rankings. I think Minnesota is about to have an elite offensive year all around. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be supremely undervalued. Justin Jefferson
Yes.
will get to early next week how I feel about Justin.
We will talk about it
People are sleeping on my man Adam Thielen. Thielen, if you ever watch this, I've been number one. You've been my number
for
one.
years. For
You've been my
years.
guy.
For years.
And Dalvin, man, Dalvin, I truly feel Dalvin Cook is as talented as any of these guys in this as far as just everything he can do. His vision is great, great speed, great agility, lateral quickness. His hands are what going to be separating him. I think Dalvin Cook catches 55 to 60 passes this year. And that's what moves him into that tier because I think this Vikings offense is going to open up in a way that has him running through the tackles less, but being spread out more and getting more receiving work, which definitely, all of my rankings are based on full PPR. That's why he's not in a tier below this because I just think he's going to be up near those 5 guys. I think he'll probably finish 5 out of those guys if everything goes right. But I think those are the 5 best running backs this year.
Well, all right. So I didn't disagree with anything you said, like not a single word, just to be clear.
Right.
My hesitation with Dalvin is twofold.
Okay.
You said that last show, you don't really think about injuries that could happen to anybody. Dalvin's, he's not injury prone, but I expect him to miss about three a year. Nothing
Okay.
crazy. I expect him to
Right.
miss a few.
Right.
I don't know how. Look, it's not on me to figure these things out. Um, there's still, even if it's just a slight potential, there is the slight potential that a suspension is coming. I can't just ignore that.
Okay.
So I personally had him towards the top of tier two,
Okay.
but with an asterisk saying, okay, if we're a week away from the season, he's all good. He probably sneaks into that top tier. So I get where you're coming from.
Right.
I'm just not quite that comfortable yet.
Okay. Who's in your
But I
tier one?
agreed with. Uh, so three of the four we agree on. Derrick Henry is
Okay.
my number one. Jonathan
Okay.
Taylor is two. Uh, Number three is the one that people may not agree with me on, but whatever. This is me. I got Joe Mixon, number three. Everything you said about the Vikings offense, I believe is also true about the Bengals in the AFC.
Okay.
That's simple. You can literally just cut and paste everything you just said, put that to the Bengals in the AFC, and I think that's what that offense is going to do. So fair
Okay.
enough. Number four, I had Austin Eckler with some hesitation, but
I
the
know,
production
man.
is what it is.
His
The
hamstring
production
fell off the
is
bone, man.
off the
His
bone,
hamstring fell off the bone, B. It's
like
something
some ribs,
like
like some
it
ribs.
felt so bad to go off the bone with it. Here's my thing with Mixon, and Mixon, we'll get to Mixon soon for me because of the extra talent at wide receiver that they have. Not just
How's
Chase,
how is
but
that
T.
different from
Higgins.
Thielen and Jefferson, who you just
Because
talked about? How is that different?
because
How is that
today
different?
T. Higgins is substantially better than Adam Thielen in my heart.
I don't believe he is substantially
Substantially.
better. I
Substantially
believe he
better.
is better because he is healthier.
You can listen, we're gonna get the wide receiver,
We
but
will, but I'm
but
just saying
T.
you are
Higgins
literally using the
T.
same
Higgins and
argument you
Jamar
used for Cook against Mixon. The
T. Hig-
exact same argument
right.
applies to
Because
both.
Thielen is not as same field last year, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. T. Higgins had more targets, more air yards, more fantasy points. It matters when you have two guys that good, plus a better quarterback to get those guys the ball, to where you don't have to rely on a Joe Mixon out the backfield the
So
way
you
that
said, wait,
Dalvin is going to be relied
better.
for.
Well, no. Better QB, I'd agree with. But
Hmm.
we just mentioned you think that Kirk Cousins is incredibly undervalued.
Undervalued,
It seems
absolutely.
like semantics. This feels like you just don't want
He's
to put Mixon
undervalued.
up there. You just
He's
don't want to put Mixon
undervalued.
up there,
I
and that's
have
fine. We
Mixon
can move
really
on. No, no,
high.
no, no,
I got
no, no.
Mixon high. You got him
That's
at
fine.
three.
I
Three
got him
is
higher.
different.
I got him
Three,
higher. That's fine.
you got
That is
Mixon
absolutely
over
fine.
Eckler, and there's one name you haven't mentioned yet, but we're gonna get there. Tier two. I need you to kick off your tier two. 'Cause I need to see what
Okay,
this tier
so
looks like because I'm
tier
fascinated.
two. Let's see. Tier two starts off because I did actually order my running backs, though they are still in a cluster. I did actually give them a full on
Okay,
ranking. Um,
I do too.
McCaffrey, Cook,
Okay,
DeAndre Swift, Najee Harris, Nick Chubb, Javante Williams.
are all tier two.
So
So that gets
yeah,
you to how many? Is that
I'm at
10?
10. I'm at
Okay,
exactly 10. So the big
okay,
thing with my tier one versus tier two is I'm thinking best reasonable case scenario. So you could shoot for the pie in the sky, but it's like, okay, what do I legitimately think is the best case scenario? My
right,
tier one is best case scenario. I think they are the best running back in fantasy. All four of
right.
those guys in tier one, I think that is their potential. I think McCaffrey and Cook are going to miss at least a couple games. In McCaffrey's case, if you tell me he's going to miss 5 games, I am still fine with putting him at the top of tier two because he's that good.
Right.
But I won't be shocked if he's going to miss that time. DeAndre Swift, I just think he's going to have a monster year.
Okay.
I just think he's going to have an absolute monster year. He is the best weapon they have. And quite frankly, Jared Goff isn't very good, so those dump offs will be
Right.
plentiful.
Right.
It
But
just is
those
what it
dump
is.
offs are not accurate either sometimes too though. From experience, I understand this. I've watched pain come into my heart with Jared Goff
He
dump
was
offs.
top 10 last year as
He
it
was.
was.
He was. Absolutely.
So
And I think
so I
he's
got Swift. Nick Chubb is the one that, Kareem Hunt's going to eat into his touches, his touchdowns,
yeah.
and he's still going to get his points. He's still going to
Okay.
get enough points that if I plug him in at RB1, I'm going to feel absolutely fine. He's just boring. There's just nothing
Nick
exciting
Chubb
about
is
having Chubb.
boring.
He's the new Frank Gore. That's fine. You never. You never regretted taking Frank Gore. I feel the same way about Nick Chubb. Um, Williams,
Javante Williams in your tier two
similar
is
similar to Swift. I think just
okay.
think he's going to have a monster year. He's going to get 65-70% of the touches. He's just going to have a great year. Maybe I'm a bit higher on him than others, but I feel great about him. I have no doubts. So long as he stays healthy, he's going to have an absolutely great year.
Okay. Okay. My tier two is much smaller. My tier two is three guys. Um, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift. Everything you said about Joe Mixon is like I have him ranked seven. I think Joe Mixon is going to have a wonderful, wonderful year. I don't think he gets to that super high upper echelon because I don't see the 14, 15 touchdowns that he'll need to get there because I don't think his volume is going to be that high. I don't think he'll have the volume to make up for the lack of TDs there. That's the only reason I don't. If I saw 15 touchdowns out of Mixon, I think I'd probably have him four or five. I just don't see that many touchdowns. And the way that these other guys, Henry, Taylor, Eckler, McCaffrey, Cook, are going to dominate touchdowns for their team out the backfield and need it inside the goal line, things like that. I don't think, I think Burrow's going to throw a lot inside the 10 because those guys are uncoverable everywhere that he has to throw the ball to. Aaron Jones, I actually have ranked above Mixon and Swift because I think Aaron Jones without Devontae Adams, without a clear number one wide receiver, Aaron Jones, I wouldn't be shocked if Aaron Jones has the most catches on that team. Period. Because I think Aaron Jones is going to be needed to move the ball down the field as well as Aaron Rodgers wants to. And he's the guy left that he trusts the most. You got an injured Robert Tunyon coming back who we trust, but he just tore an ACL. You don't have arguably the best wide receiver in football. They didn't address wide receiver. They bring in a rookie who has to get acclimated. Alan Lazard, I'm sure he'll get targets, but it's Alan Lazard. Montrez, Valdez Scantling is out here. I understand,
No, he's
but
gone.
now he's gone.
Okay, all right.
I understand who he
Yeah.
is, but he's gone now. So you
But
don't even
even
have
he's
him.
like, yeah, he's
You
all
have
right.
Alan Lazard. You have Sammy Watkins there, I believe now. But
So
it's
what?
Sammy
So
Watkins.
what?
You know what I mean? Like it's just not. They're going to be running a ton of two running back sets. I think AJ Dillon starts to get work, and out of that
So,
backfield, it's Aaron Jones. And the slot, I think they run game plan passing work for him. Plus, he gets 12 to 15 carries a game,
okay,
and he's a
okay.
touchdown monster.
I don't dispute anything you said about Jones. I have him slightly lower, but I tend to agree he's going to have a great year. I
Yeah,
might believe that Dylan's going to eat into those carries more than you do. We'll see. So I may
I
have
think
Dylan
so too.
higher than you'd expect from me. However, we got to rewind 1 second. The
Sure.
whole Mixon thing, 15 touchdowns. He scored 16 last year. Moving on. Anyway, he scored 16 last year.
He
He
did score
scored
16
16.
last year. He did. He did. He scored 16 last year with now Jamar Chase coming into year two, T. Higgins going into year three. That year two, year three wide receiver jump, that's what we look at when we try to
They
go for
no
guys.
longer have the
I just
worst
feel like
offensive
12.
line in football. They no longer
No.
have the worst offensive line in
I
football,
think
though.
Mixon scores 12 touchdowns. 12 touchdowns doesn't get you the top five for me, but I have him
All
at
right,
seven.
no, no, no. Fair enough. Fair enough. Moving on. Okay. Is it my tier three or is it?
No, no, I'll definitely hop into tier three because my tier three is among my largest tiers. My tier three, I start with Leonard Fournette, then I
Wait,
go
wait, wait. I'm
Najee.
sorry. About I know that you didn't rank them necessarily by numbers, but about how many running backs have you gone through?
I have eight, so I have them. You
Okay.
know what? Like these are ranked in order,
Okay.
but they're just who
Kind
I'm
of loose
fine with
order.
having these guys in here.
Okay.
Like in these tiers. Like tier one is I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with tier two, but it's not as high upside as those tier
Okay.
one guys. My tier three, this is the last tier of guys who I'll be like, if this is my running back one, that means that I did something really well at other positions that I'll be okay
But
with
you'll still
this.
be okay with it. Okay. Okay. Yep. Fair enough.
So number nine, but all in this tier:
Mm-hmm.
Leonard
All in the same
Fournette,
tier.
Najee Harris, Ezekiel Elliott, Nick Chubb, James Conner, Saquon, Then I have Javante Williams, and I have David Montgomery in that tier as well.
Okay. And
Um,
again, the actual rankings doesn't matter. How many players have you gotten to? Just so I make
this
sure that
is
I
9,
have
10,
a
11,
general.
12, 13, 14, 15. I'm at 16 now.
You are at 16, and that's through tier three. Basically,
That's
those are the
through
ones
tier 3.
you are comfortable with those being your best running back, knowing that even if you get towards the bottom of tier three, you're going to be really good at wide receiver or really good at quarterback or whatever the case is.
I'm going to be okay at other places to where if I line up and I have Zeke, and Zeke is who I'll touch on because you're a Dallas guy, you're in tune with Dallas. The more I think about Ezekiel Elliott, the more I think about his volume, the more I think about how they run this offense through him. Every time he's on the field, if he is in the shape that people say he is in, and if that injury last year wasn't an injury that took away things that made him Zeke, his power, his lower body, his explosiveness, the way we know he can catch the ball at the backfield as well as anybody. We know he fights for yards as well as anyone. But Tony Pollard matters too. But if this is 65-35 towards Zeke in this offense, if this starts 70-30 and Zeke proves that he can be that 70-30 guy, they're paying him enough to where you just give him the ball at this point. They're just paying him enough, dude. Like you said, we talked about it earlier before this. It's about the money. You're paying him to be that guy. And if he shows he's that guy, then they're going to work him as that guy. Dak trusts him more than anybody. Zeke is one of the best pass blocking guys in the world, and they're going to throw the ball well, so he's going to be on the field. I have him 10. I have him, excuse me, 11 after Najee. It's a nervous 11, but it's an 11 that I haven't heard or seen anything that's going to show this is going to be anywhere near closer to 50-50.
All right.
Najee is the one that, out of all those guys, out of include Nick Chubb, you spoke on, James Conner, I just think that situation is just going to set him up for a lot of like they love running the ball inside. You know, he catches the ball out the backfield. There's no competition for that job. I don't care what these rookies are. There's no competition for him there, and Arizona's going to score. David Montgomery, same thing. No competition for that job. I think Fields take a little step up. He's his volume. A 20 touch running back can't be any less than a tier 3 guy for me because 20 touches is 20 touches in this league.
Absolutely.
Najee terrifies me, man. Najee terrifies me.
Oh, okay, so can I comment on Najee? So I have him in tier two, but it still terrifies me. So I get it.
Yeah.
Like he had by fantasy standards, he had an unbelievable rookie year. But if you actually watch the Steelers play, it was just such a grind.
Yeah, man.
It was just such. At the end of the day, it always all worked out. To be fair, I mean, there was a little dip towards the end of the season, but for the most part, it would work itself out. But it just never looked
It
great.
never looked good. There was never a time where he looked like, oh, this guy is going to get me 200 total yards and 3 touchdowns today. He's going to get 35 touches for 125 yards, and hopefully he falls into the end zone. It's going to be productive, but damn,
But
it's going to be
it's
nasty.
okay. But here's the other side of it. What if Trubisky's just better than Roethlisberger and it opens things up? Ben was bad, like
Right,
really, really,
right,
really bad.
right. So is that O line, though.
That's just true. And there's the whole he gained what 20, 25 pounds of
Yeah, yeah,
muscle.
15, 20
I
pounds.
don't like it.
You're not Derrick Henry.
This is
We
the
don't need you
Zeke
to do
thing.
that.
We don't need you to get bigger. We don't
Right,
need you to get bigger. I
right.
get why he's doing it. I get why he would feel the need to. I just don't think it's going to make him a more effective running back. But I think he's going to have such a huge amount of volume that the numbers will be what they are.
Yeah. And to piggyback off your point, if Trubisky is better, there's less dump offs now to Najee too, because he can get the ball downfield more.
I mean, Mitch's still
Deontay,
going to be Mitch. Mitch is still
Mitch,
Mitch.
Mitch is still gonna be Mitch
Ben was
by
just that
throwing.
bad. Now Ben was
Right.
just that bad. Mitch is still
Ben was
Mitch.
terrible.
He's still
Ben,
gonna dump the ball
Ben,
off
Ben was
constantly because it's Mitch
horrible.
Trubisky. What else is gonna do?
Listen, it might be Kenny Pickett season early.
He ain't ready.
He's not ready.
He's
He's not
not
ready.
ready.
He's not ready to be in the league right now.
The ACC, really? Really? That prepared
Listen,
him?
man.
Unless if he is
Yo,
a prodigy,
listen, Dabo
the
out there, man.
ACC did not prepare him. Come on.
It
Come
didn't.
on. What are we
It
talking
didn't.
about? What
It
are we
didn't.
talking about?
It didn't.
The
But yeah, man.
ACC don't even want to be the ACC
The
anymore.
ACC
They
doesn't
want to
want to
be
be
the
the ACC
SEC.
anymore. They
They don't even,
100%.
yeah.
They don't want to be there anymore.
They know they not, yeah.
This ain't how
Listen,
it is. Peter Warwick's
nah.
not walking through that door, so we're not worried about that. But yeah, Fournette, Najee, Zeke, Nick Chubb, James Conner, Saquon Barton. Saquon, man. I'll talk about Saquon eventually. I'm not
Okay,
emotionally ready
okay,
for this.
okay. So I'm gonna give my tier three. My tier three
Yes.
stretches a bit further than yours. All
Okay.
right. My tier three is taking me down to 20 and a half players.
Woo.
We are going to bookmark Saquon, just like you said a moment ago. We need to circle back to him.
This is a
Um,
big tier for you.
my tier three, similar to you, these are the guys that I feel comfortable with as an RB1 in a scenario where I get cleared out at RB early. I go grab a wide receiver. I go grab a QB if I'm playing two QB, whatever the case is, and I still feel okay about them as my running back one.
Right.
Once I get past this point, I am talking strong running back twos, in some instances flex plays,
Okay.
but this is the end of where I consider any player a running back one. A couple of these, this is just how I see it. All right, so Aaron Jones, James Conner, as you
Mm,
mentioned,
hmm.
you had Aaron higher, but they're both going to be super productive. Not much
Right.
explanation goes there. Uh, I put him at 13 on my list because I didn't know what to do with him. Alvin Kamara. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with that
Okay.
because if he's playing, he is a tier two player. In the best case scenario, he's a tier one player if he's playing. If he's playing the full season.
100%.
But there's actually been a report that he's going to get suspended. So even that is different from Dalvin, where it's just kind of like,
Right.
maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. There was actually a report that said it would happen,
Right.
and then we've heard nothing since. I don't know what you do with that information.
Right. Right.
So what I do know is he got caught in 4K stomping a dude out
He
in
really
a Vegas
did, man.
casino
He really did, man.
over. I don't
Who
even know
knows
why.
what it's over? Who
Like,
knows what it's over?
let the goons be
We,
goons. You did not need to do
you have
anything.
guys,
You
Alvin.
had the
We
goons
know
with
you got
you.
fellas on the payroll. We know you
No,
got guys who.
no. We saw them in the
We
video.
know
They
you
were
have
actually
them.
there. Let
You
the
know it.
goons be goons.
You come in at the end, yo. Hold on, chill, man. He good. He good, and just break it up. Done.
No, no, no. They start stopping them. Close the elevator. They know what floor we're on. Plausible deniability. Close the elevator. They know exactly where the room is.
They know
We'll
where
see
we
y'all in 10
are.
minutes.
They were just there
I got
yesterday.
Roger Goodell comes around. What happened? Man, they started stomping dudes that I left.
That's just crazy.
Plausible deniability is
Exception to the
all you
room, man.
needed, but he
That's
wanted to be
it.
Pac. He wanted to be Pac. So now he might be gone for 6 games. So, but we don't know. So for now, he's in tier three with an asterisk. If
Hmm.
he gets suspended, he drops considerably, obviously.
Okay.
Leonard Fournette, I just think he's going to be very productive. I don't think there's going to be anything exciting
Agreed.
or elite about him. But at the end
Agreed.
of the year, he's going to put up numbers. He's going to be consistent. I like consistency. So, hey, Leonard Fournette, you could do a lot worse. Cam Akers, I'm a believer. I'm
Okay.
a believer because when it came to the playoffs,
He
even
looked
off an
good.
Achilles, they
He
gave
did
him the
look
rock,
good. He did
and
look
he
good
looked
too.
good. So, Cam Akers, David
That
Montgomery, for
offense is
all the
going to be
reasons you
crazy.
said.
Yeah.
David Montgomery, he's going to get the touches. Here's the one where this could be my Haitian blood. I admit there could be some bias here. Travis Etienne is going to have a huge year. Huge year. Gargantuan season. James Robinson, for whatever reason, despite how productive he's been, Jacksonville just seems like they don't want that dude to be good there. And now he's hurt, and they have an excuse not to give him no carries. Once he gets back, it's like, no, 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 take your time, take your time, take your time. We got this dude we took at the top of the second round. Basically, they took him with near first round investment. They are going to give him the ball a lot, a
What number?
whole lot.
What number does that put ATN off for you?
I got 17.
He's number
Travis
32
Etienne.
for me.
Fair enough. Fair
He's
enough.
number
Fair enough.
32 for me.
Fair
This.
enough. I could have some
Wow.
personal bias here. This is every now and then I make a big bet. Generally speaking, they tend to come to fruition. I feel very strongly about Travis
Huh?
Etienne to the point
The
that
talent is
last
there.
year I was angling to have him on my bench, to have him this year at a low cost in our keeper
At a
league.
low, right.
However, when you're trying to win, you got to make
When
tough
you're trying to win, you
decisions.
got to make things happen.
You know,
The
it,
talent is there, and guys, and they want him. The guy
and Trevor
who
Lawrence is going to want his guy.
Trevor Lawrence is going to want his guy. Um, is there something to Urban Meyer drafted like was there when they drafted him, and that's not who they see as the best running back in that backfield. James Robinson has been productive.
He has been. There's no denying that. I just don't think they believe in him because
That's
after
fair
a monster rookie year, they used a top 35 pick on Travis
on
Etienne.
Travis Etienne. They did.
You have this dude who was
They
super
did.
productive for super cheap, and you still went out of your way to get somebody else.
They did. Shout out to Urban Meyer, man. Good job.
Shout out to Urban
Um,
Meyer. Wait. I got a couple more in tier three that, again, I might believe in more than you. Elijah Mitchell, the San Fran offense
okay.
is what it is. RB1 in that offense. It's just, he's going to be successful long as he stays healthy. He was hugely productive whenever healthy last season. Um, I too have Zeke because I just think he's going to get the carries. I don't think he should get that many carries. It
Mm,
is, as a Dallas fan, I wish he wasn't going to get all those carries. I wish it were going to be a 50-50 split, but things run how they run there. He's going to get
right.
60 to 70% of the touches. Everyone's going to be mad about it. Well, we're just going to have to be mad. He's going to be productive. J.K. Dobbins in Baltimore,
Okay.
very similar to my feelings on Travis Etienne. The investment they put in him, I just think he's going to get the rock plenty and be very productive, especially playing with Lamar. Especially playing with Lamar.
Especially playing with
Um,
Lamar.
and I said 20 and a half. Saquon Barkley, I really don't know what to do with him because he's not the next tier, but he's not quite this tier. He's just in his own zone in the middle. What do you do with him?
If
You're the you're
Saquon,
the you're the Giant fan. What do you do with him?
if Saquon has said he's starting to feel like Saquon again, that's cool. That's nothing. I don't care what you look like with your shirt off. It means nothing to me, my guy. It means nothing. How are your ankles doing? Do they feel good? How is this offense doing? Does it look good? Is Daniel Jones going to solidify his rookie contract by dumping the ball off to you or by going five wide and getting the ball downfield?
Daniel Jones.
You know what I'm saying? Like it gets to a point where Christian McCaffrey can make a bad quarterback look good.
Daniel Jones.
Are you Christian McCaffrey, Saquon? Mm-mm, he's
Here's
not.
the here's the thing.
But
Christian, whenever he's
uh,
healthy, he looks great. Saquon did not look great last year.
Saquon hasn't been healthy in a year. Saquon says he's healthy now, fully. And rookie Saquon was healthy. Rookie Saquon came on the scene and was amazing. He hasn't been there since. And I'm a
That was four
guy
years
who
ago. That was
it's a
4 years
lot. It's a
ago.
long time, man. It's a long time to
4
miss
years
that
ago.
many games, to have that much turnover in the offense and not
Le'Veon
play
Bell
in
was
it.
still elite 4 years ago. He's
He was
about to fight
elite
Adrian
4 years ago.
Peterson. He's about to fight Adrian Peterson.
I got my money on
A
Adrian
lot
Peterson.
happens in four
I've got my
years.
money on AP. AP about to
Absolutely.
beat the calories out of Le'Veon Bell.
Look, look,
That's
look,
all.
look.
That's all.
Look.
They're strong, and then there's Adrian Peterson stopping, grabbing the dude, throwing him out of
But here's
bounds,
the thing:
and
if they're
running
boxing,
strong.
if they're boxing, is there any reason to think that Adrian Peterson has ever needed to be in a fist fight in his entire life?
Yeah, Adrian Peterson country man. They used to fight for. They probably fought for no reason out there. They probably
You
got drunk
fighting
at the
him?
barbecue.
No. You're fighting him for no reason.
Yeah,
Let's
man, they
remember who
crazy out here. People are crazy out here, b. Le'Veon Bell's not a small dude.
he and AP.
He's not. Nobody is. Le'Veon about
I,
to
I,
beat the.
I,
Le'Veon
all
about
I'm
to beat
saying
the
is
brakes
4 years
off
is a
him
long
today.
time. You're talking about his rookie year that was 4 years
Right.
ago.
It was 100%. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen this year.
I mean, it
Because
literally
it has
has to. It's
to.
the last year of his contract.
There's no chance that it can go anywhere else. Him and Daniel Jones are both fighting for their Giants' lives, and they both are. And
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, b. Like Daniel Jones has to be good in order for Saquon to be elite.
So Saquon is not going to be elite. That's what it is. If that is the answer, then
Listen,
okay, maybe I
Brian
need to move
Dable
him
might see
down.
something, man. Brian Dable might see something. We
He's
got
gonna
the
see a quarterback who isn't good.
Kadarius Tony, my man Kenny Galladay gonna be engaged now. He's
I,
gonna be locked in. Sterling Shep gonna play 6, 7 games. They're gonna be good 6, 7, and then he's gonna rip his spine out. That's gonna be fine. We're not worried about his spinal cord. We good because we're gonna look over. We still got a little Darius Slayton action going on. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go five
you
wide
can't
and
actually
be the
believe this.
trashiest five wide that I've ever seen in life. You ever see somebody in Madden run a five wide? You like, oh shit, he might be nice, and he's just garbage. His play calling is terrible. They can't make the right reads. We about to line up
Food.
five wide and be garbage. But
Here's the thing.
Saquon can salvage
It,
things if he's healthy.
here's the thing. I think
If he's healthy, he's fine.
Daniel Jones is going to be atrocious, but Saquon, if he is in fact healthy, it's going to be very similar to Najee Harris. There's just going to be a
One
lot of
hundred
volume
percent.
because what else are you going to do? I just don't trust it, so I don't know where to put him from a
I
tier
don't
standpoint.
trust it. I don't trust it
I don't
either.
trust it. That's
I
all.
don't
I'm
trust
sorry.
it either, man.
I can't trust it. Your tier four or my tier four?
Oh my god, I'm just so depressed, man. I'll go tier four.
Okay.
My tier four starts at number 17. This is where I have Cam Akers. Um,
Okay.
I'm
That's
higher
fair.
on Cam Akers than I thought I would be. Um, I
That
can actually
offense, that
that offense is going to
offense,
be
running
unbelievable.
back one in that offense
Running back one in that
and
offense matters.
McVay does go when he has a true RB1, he
He
will lean
uses
on him
them
accordingly.
100%. He uses them.
He's not on that
Um,
Andy Reid. He's like, all right, this
no,
is my guy.
no. He's gonna Cam Akers is gonna get his touches. I can see him being an 18 touch guy a game, and if he's doing that in that offense, it's gonna be productive as hell. Um, I have Cam Akers, Josh Jacobs. I have Miles Sanders here.
This is tier
Um,
four, correct?
this is tier four for me.
Okay.
Akers,
Yep.
Jacobs, Miles Sanders,
Hmm.
Antonio Gibson,
Okay.
Cordero Patterson,
Okay.
Kareem Hunt, and I
Okay.
have Damian Harris at the end of this tier as well. Um, I've seen enough
Okay.
of Damian Harris to think Belichick isn't stupid, and Damian Harris is your best running back, and Ramondre Stevenson should not be eating into his touches. That makes sense to me. So I ranked it that way. We know Belichick hates running backs. He hates
No, no,
fantasy
no, no,
running
no.
backs being
He
good.
hates fantasy running backs because he
He
loves
hates
all his.
fantasy football.
He actually
He
loves
hates
them
it.
dudes. He makes sure everybody eats.
Corey
Everybody eats.
Dillon
Dude.
was the last.
Everybody eats.
Everybody eats B. Corey Dillon was the last guy he looked at like this is my workhorse. And
Yeah.
Corey Dillon, bro. I think Damian Harris has to be
Wait,
this
wait, wait.
guy because
Okay, I'm sorry. I might be getting years completely mixed up. When was Steven Jackson era? Because he had a year or two
yeah,
there where he had a year or
please
two
man.
there.
But we're talking about Steven Jackson. We're
Non
talking
St. Louis Rams Steven Jackson.
yeah,
Yep, you're
like
right.
you
You're
feel
right.
me?
You're right. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I
Like
got you.
like Damian Harris has shown that he can take the carries and he can be productive. He gets stronger as the season goes. He gets stronger as the game goes on. They're gonna want to do enough play action with Mac Jones, who I think takes a little bit of a step this year. He's a good pass blocker. He's not bad out of the backfield.
They don't
He
give him
was
the
good. They
opportunities,
don't
but
give him
he
the
isn't bad when they
opportunity,
give
but
him a
he's not
shot.
bad at all out of the backfield. I mean, I don't have him super high. This is my range of these are
Where are you
my
at
flex running backs.
just in terms of final number?
23.
Where
I'm at
you're at
23 guys now.
23 through tier four. So
I'm at
clearly,
23 tier 4.
okay. So we have I don't even realize who we missed out on because I feel like we had a lot to say. Ah, I see a couple. Okay.
Yeah. Like
Tier four,
here I have Miles Sanders who you haven't mentioned yet.
tier four. I'm stretching to 29 in tier four, and
Okay.
the way that my tier four went is this exact cluster. It's a weird way to put it. I think these are elite RB2s. Meaning, if you have
Elite
anyone from
RB2s.
exactly, if you have anybody from the first three tiers, and then you have one of these players as an RB2, you are in good shape. Even if it was towards tier three, end of tier
Okay.
three, if you have two of these players, you are in good shape.
I'm intrigued.
After I get to this number, there isn't a player that I feel comfortable being my RB2. If any player after this tier is my RB2, I have messed up royally. In an ideal situation, I want three players total from the top four tiers. That's what I want. I want three players total from the top four tiers. That's going to be my angle in every draft I do. I
Right.
want three of these 29 players. Stretch this to 29. I have Gibson, Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
I have Rashard Penny, who I don't believe you've
Okay.
mentioned yet.
I haven't mentioned
Um,
them yet. No.
I believe in what I saw at the end of the year. He looked really, really good at the end of the year. We'll see. I've believed in him before. This just might be the guy that I just fall for every year, but I believe in the talent. I also have Josh Jacobs. I don't even think he is that good, but he is going to get those carries. That is his job. It is what it is.
Right.
Um, Clyde
Josh
Edwards,
Jacob caught 50 passes last year.
he did. Uh, I also have Clyde Edwards Hilaire.
Can't do it.
This is like
Can't do it.
I don't know why I keep doing this to
I can't
myself,
do it. I
but I
can't.
just see this
I
path. I
can't do
see
it.
a path to him being like one of the
Don't do
top
it.
dozen fantasy running backs, and I also
Don't
see a
do it.
path to him being outside of the top 50. I admit that I don't feel completely comfortable with it, but I am seduced by the talent and the role in that offense, especially that offense without Tyreek Hill. That's the big thing. That offense without Tyreek Hill, those touches got to go somewhere. I'm betting that at least a decent portion will
Hmm.
go to Clyde. I could be wrong. This is the one in the group that I feel least comfortable with, but I do
Right.
believe that if I come out of a draft and he is my RB2, I'm going to say, all right, I can rock with this.
Yeah.
I have
170 Travis Kelsey targets are on deck.
I have Cordero Patterson. I
Okay.
believe. I don't believe that was a fluke last year. I also like the fit with Mariota out of the backfield. I
Okay.
too have Damian Harris because I too believe Bill Belichick cannot be stupid. He's
Yes.
obviously not stupid, but he
He
hates
can't be,
us.
dude.
He hates us.
He
This has
can't
to be
be.
intentional. At a certain point, it has to be intentional.
It
Like
is.
every Sunday, he goes into his office, he cracks a beer, and he has a chuckle like, they thought he was going to get 20 touches today. And my very last one is Miles Sanders. I still do believe in him to a point. I've been
I do
bit by
too.
it before, but
I do too.
it's his job in Philly. It truly is just going to be his job. They're going to keep giving him running back one touches. We'll see how productive he is. We'll see how healthy he stays. But I think he'll be productive enough that I consider him a very, very strong RB2.
I agree. I agree. Um, no, I agree with everything there, man. I think the Clyde, man, the Clyde thing is just. Clyde is where I have Clyde in my next tier. Tier five. This is now. This gets it. Now you feel those guys you mentioned as an RB2, you're good money. Those guys, I feel because I'm so bullish, especially in my salary cap leagues. I'm bullish that I want two of my top two tier guys as my running
We
back
build
one and
teams
running back
differently.
two.
We already
And
discussed this. We
then
build teams differently.
right, and then the guys that you mentioned, those are guys who I look like. Which one of those guys can I get to throw at a flex and have my running back stack look unbelievable, and then see what I can do at other places.
And this is where we are
Um,
just different.
and
This is
and
just
this
where
is
we're
where we're
different.
different.
Yep.
So my tier five guys, there's going to be some guys in here where you'll be like, oh, okay, this makes perfect sense. This is like I have J.K. Dobbins at 24 to start off my tier five. 25 is where I put Kamara.
Because what do you do with them?
6 games is 6 games, and I can't like 6 games is a lot of games to miss at the start of the year, and then he's coming back. Is he going to be Alvin Kamara in Game 7? Or is he going to be Alvin Kamara in Game 8 or 9?
You know
Because then
what?
you're looking at
He has to be because here's the
he
thing:
has to
if he
be.
does in fact get suspended, that guaranteed money's gone, homie. If you
You
don't
see,
look like exactly like Alvin Kamara,
right,
decisions get
right,
made. It
right,
happens quick at running back. It
right,
happens quick.
right.
Most teams build the contracts accordingly, except for the Cowboys who just paid Zeke for no apparent reason 2 years early, and now they are
Appreciate that.
trapped. Yeah, yeah. Mm.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I have Alvin at 25 only because of the 6 games. That's it. It's nothing to do with talent. If he plays 17 games, he's in tier one. He just is. Maybe you throw him in tier two. that's fine, but he's no less than that. He's no less than the eighth best guy in fantasy football. Period. I have Elijah Mitchell here.
Okay.
I have Tony Pollard in tier five
Okay.
because I think they didn't do anything at wide receiver after Amari left. I think if they want
Eh,
to get,
eh. They kept Gallup, which had Amari stayed, it is almost certain that Gallup was gone. So
I, I
they
don't
made the
mind
decision
Gallup,
to go.
but Gallup hasn't shown me he can be a number two wide receiver in this
You know
league.
how I feel about the fact that they let Amari go. So
I know, I do,
yeah.
I do.
So
Um, and I think they want to get Pollard touches. I have a weird thing where I don't know if they try to give Pollard touches in lieu of Zeke being on the field. I think they put them both on the field a lot more. I think Kellen's smart enough to figure something out. I think they see the explosiveness in Pollard, get him the ball out here. I see a little bit of what Green Bay is going to do with Aaron Jones with how they use Tony Pollard because you want to use your best guys, and Tony Pollard is one of your best guys. I
I,
think
s- I say this as a Cowboys fan, and we'll get to my tier five. Tony Pollard is in fact in my tier five, so I don't
okay.
disagree with you. You're assuming a level of competence out of this franchise that you should not assume.
I got Elijah Mitchell, Tony Pollard. I love your cowboy paint. It's my favorite shit in the world. Clyde Edwards Hilaire is where I have him. I have AJ
Okay.
Dillon,
Okay.
and I got Brees Hall here, man. I got
Okay.
Brees Hall here for no reason other than every single thing I hear here in New York is Brees Hall. Brees Hall, give the ball to Brees. Brees is the guy. We drafted Brees for a reason. He's our future. And I think that Jets offense is going to be surprisingly competent very often. And this is my Travis Etienne. I think Brees Hall is going to come
Okay.
in and have a big
So
time. There's always one rookie running back who's like, okay, wow, this guy really has it. Brees Hall is that guy for me.
okay, so here's the thing. I don't disagree with anything necessarily that you say about Brees Hall. He is very intriguing to me. I also have him in my tier five, so I don't disagree with any of that. A lot of it's going to depend on Zach Wilson.
Yes.
If Zach Wilson, it's been a funny
Listen,
week for Zach Wilson.
listen, we
I'm
know
just saying,
Zach. We know
look,
Zach is about it. We know Zach
look,
is about action.
if Zach is really the guy that could just lock in after all of this, then all right, I agree with everything that you said. I have him in this tier, but he is the last person in this tier. Um, what I did do with my tier five that's a bit different from yours is
Okay.
basically this cluster is I can see each of these guys being a really good RB2 if
Okay.
something breaks their way. Unfortunately, in some of these instances, it's a matter of if the guy in front of them gets hurt, I just see them blowing up. In others, it's more of a okay, what if this becomes more of a timeshare? Um, I have AJ Dillon, Tony Pollard.
Okay.
Despite everything I said about Travis Etienne, I have James Robinson here.
Okay.
I think that they are both worth rostering in the same way that I think Chubb and Hunt are worth rostering. I just think that team's going to run the ball about 50-50 in a way that most teams don't run the
They're gonna
ball.
run a lot, man.
So, James Robinson, he's still up here.
Okay.
Um, right here, I didn't really know how to split the baby on this, so I've really just punked out and went Michael Carter, Brees Hall back to back. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm going to be
That's
right on
fair though.
one and
That's
wrong on the
fair.
other.
That's
I don't
fair.
know how to go. So for me personally, I will not touch either because I do not know how the split is going to go. But one of them is going to eat really, really well this year. One of
That's
them is going to. I just don't know which.
that's fair.
Um, I have Ken Walker here.
Mm.
Drew Lock, man, he's Drew Lock. They got to give that young man the rock. Chris Carson, I pray that that man retires. Like those pictures look scary. I don't know. They're
They
putting like
look
a transformer on his
terrifying,
neck or
dude.
something like that. Please retire, man. You've made
Man.
some money. You had a great career. I don't know that man obviously, but like legitimately, I fear for
Please
his
don't come back.
safety. Please
Don't come
retire.
back.
I truly hope so. I truly hope he does. So I have Ken Walker there. I have Chase Edmonds here. He can catch passes out the field, and Tua can't throw it that far.
Right.
That's all there really is to it. I have Devin Singletary here
Okay.
with a little hesitation, but it's one of those things where he gets you 10 to 12 points. You're never quite satisfied with it. But then you look back at the end of the week and you're like, that 11 points from Singletary was very useful. In an instance where injury happens or they decide, we're actually going to run the ball, I could see him being a strong RB2. I just don't
Right.
feel comfortable betting on
Man, when you think about these often, you think about Kansas City, you think about Buffalo, who I think is going to have a terrifying offense. Having a running back that low is just crazy to me. But
it. They don't
th-
run.
this is the first time you've mentioned a Buffalo running back. Getting to my tier, so that's your tier five. Did you finish your tier five up right there?
That's tier five, but I'm down to 20 to 37, so I'm far past you in
You're
terms of
past me. So like tier six, I start at 31 there. This is where I have James Robinson and Travis Etienne right next to each other. The same exact way you see the Jets is the same exact way I see Jacksonville, only with a less explosive offense. So I dropped them a little bit down because I don't know if James Robinson is going to show he's as good as he's been, and then they don't give Etienne the work, even though I see the talent there. I have James Cook here. I have James Cook as the best running back coming out of Buffalo because
uh, I will get to him shortly.
I have
We're
James
not.
Cook here. James Cook, James
He can
Cook
be
for
that
me,
dude. He can be
James,
that dude.
James Cook for me. If things break, we say it often. If things break a certain way, James Cook is a top 20 wide running back this year, at
Can
least.
I? Can I? Can I piggyback off that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You and I are going to play in several leagues together. There are people who play with us who are watching this, and I'm saying, look me in the eyes. I don't care. I am coming for him in every league.
100%.
If it doesn't work out, it doesn't
It
work
doesn't
out.
work out, but you are going to pay more
But
than you
I
want
am,
for
yeah,
James
yeah,
Cook.
because I see it. I see it. I see the path. I don't necessarily.
Yes,
I don't feel as confident in that path as you do
right.
because teams are weird about veterans, especially when it comes
They
to
are.
contenders.
They are.
Um, but I
That
see
kid
the
is going to
path.
have that
He,
kid's going to have a game where they look and say, "Oh, he needs about 12, 13 touches a game now." And then, "Oh, maybe he needs a few more. Maybe we need to
Singletary
have
can't do those things.
Singletary cannot do what James Cook can do
Can
today,
James
right now."
can, but is James Cook ready to pass block on a team that passes a lot?
And that's what we're going to see. Because if he can pass block, everything else that he does
Yeah,
is going to
no,
keep
he's
you on the
strong
field.
running back too. He's top 20,
100,
top 25.
100%. Because that offense is going to be unbelievable. And whoever gets those running back touches in that offense is going to be productive. What James Cook can do with those touches is better than anybody else on that field can do at the running back position. But
So
will they give them to him? Is the
here's,
question.
I'm just going to put it this way as far as James Cook. Just on pure talent, I'm not saying he will be a better player or a more productive fantasy player, especially, but just on pure talent, I feel he is just as talented as Swift, who came out, a year or two before. Just on pure talent, I'm not
Right.
saying that he will necessarily get the opportunity, but he gets a crease and he's gone.
He's gone.
Gone.
He's gone. And he's strong. And he's like that. James Cook,
He might
James
need to
Cook
be in a
had
tier higher for me. I might really
I
need to
almost
consider
put him in
this,
tier five.
but I
I
still think
almost put him in tier
Singletary
five.
being there and knowing that
100%.
offense,
And
we'll see.
and Josh, and I understand what they're saying. We want Josh. Josh is going to be Josh inside the five, inside the 10. Josh is still going to be a guy
This
who
is Josh's
scores.
MVP year.
Josh is going to go stupid. Josh, Josh can throw 40 touchdowns and run for 12 touchdowns this year, and I wouldn't be shocked at all. I think they're going to go. I think they hate everything. I
Hold on.
think they
I expect that. You're saying I wouldn't be shocked. Nah, that's about what I expect. I expect him to go something
they hate
ridiculous.
everything. They're pissed at what happened last year. They are in full I want to
I,
destroy everything
I,
mode.
real quick, defenders get paid too. I'm just gonna say it. I know why. I know it's an unsatisfying thing, but the rules are the rules. I respect that Buffalo, at least publicly, did not complain about them. They let other people complain for them. I
Right,
respect it.
right.
I just hate the people crying about it because the rules were the rules,
The rules are the
just as
rules.
they've always been. It's not more unfair now because it was an awesome game. The rules are the rules. I respect Buffalo. I do think they're going to be ridiculous this year. On offense, I think they're going to be the best offense in football. So whichever running back
100%.
ends up being RB1 is going to be very valuable.
is going to be very valuable. We just don't know who that guy is. We both seem to think, even though you have Singletary higher, and we both seem to think James Cook has the clearest path to being a monster there.
I think James Cook has the path to being. There's always somebody the last 6 weeks of the year
That goes
that
crazy.
ends up giving somebody a huge playoff push that was picked up on waivers.
Hmm.
Nobody knows why they were on waivers or
David
why they haven't been
Montgomery.
playing. That's what I expect Cook to be, to the point that
Hmm.
I am willing to keep him on my roster
Yeah,
because I
I'll
feel
hold him.
strongly that in the last month or two of the season, he is going to be the guy eventually.
100%. So after Cook, this is where I have Chase Edmonds. I
Okay.
have Mark Ingram here because I have Kamara solo. Um, because somebody's got to do something at running back for that team.
That dude
Somebody
is
does.
cooked, man. Did we not just
He's
see this?
we
He's
did see it.
cooked.
We saw him cook, but he's their guy. He's going to get the rock. He's going to get their running back touches, and he's going to get the passes out of the backfield. He's going to be serviceable for 6 weeks until Alvin comes back. He just is, and it matters, I guess. But put him here. I have Ronald Jones here because I think Ronald Jones.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I just lost track. We are in tier six, right?
Yep, this is my tier
Okay,
six.
okay. I'm just making absolutely sure. My bad. My bad.
Yeah, yeah, this is my tier six. Ronald Jones, Raheem Mostert. I have here because I see a path where Raheem Mostert is the guy that Miami wants to be there. And if listen, Raheem Mostert is the prototypical. If he plays a crease, gone. You can argue he's the fastest guy in the league. Like he is terrifying in open field. Crease gone. Period. That speed. I think they eventually get to a speed lineup to where they say we want Mostert on the field. Waddle, Tyreek, stop us. And Mostert is that guy.
So,
Can score from anywhere,
okay.
but
On most,
fragile, man. Fragile.
you said that you just want what was it? It was 14 games out of a player, and you're completely good. No, 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 no. I'm just confirming. It was 14,
Yeah,
right?
14 games.
Mostert is going to give you 4 unbelievable
Four
games, and then he's
unbelievable.
going to be gone. But he's not just going to be gone where it's like he is out for the year. It's going to be a undisclosed timetable. He's going to miss a week, practice a couple times, get hurt a little more, miss a couple more weeks. He is the most painful player to have on your roster. He's so productive when he plays, but it's never just a straight, yeah, he's gone for the season. He's going to string you along. I can't do it, and yet I have him in tier six as well because the potential, as you said, is absolutely there for him to have a monster
Yes.
year. I I feel so uncomfortable with it, but everything you said is true. Like
It,
every
ma-
single word. The talent's
yeah.
there.
Who else? I have Naheem Hines here. Um,
Okay.
just because I think
Okay.
you don't hear.
I got no issue with that.
I love the player that Naeem Hines is. His role is 100% carved out. You know what his role is, and I think he'll be able to eat in that role like he has over the last 4 or 5 years. There, like he's
The
just
pass catching running back has
it
always done
matters.
well with Matt Ryan. With Matt Ryan
One
especially.
hundred percent,
Matt Ryan's going to go through his first two reads, then look for his dump off. It's
and
not
look,
like but that's what Matt Ryan does. He's going to take the
right,
yards he can get. Naeem Hines is going to eat.
he's gonna eat.
That's fair.
This is where I have Michael Carter because I have Brees because I'm so in Brees Hall.
Hmm.
I have Rashad Penny here for the reason of Kenneth Walker, and maybe Chris Carson doesn't retire, and Pete Carroll is just Pete Carroll with running backs.
Drew Lock.
Drew
They are going
Lock,
to run so often.
right? But they
DK
also
Metcalf is
they still
running wind
have
sprints.
DK, and they still have
Running wind
Lockett,
sprints.
and they still have
Running wind.
Lockett. They still
So
Drew Lock is
what?
gonna be playing for a job. Where
Actually,
DK at?
are we sure that Drew Lock's gonna
Where's
get the job?
DK at?
Is it Gino's job? Like all jokes aside, I haven't read enough of
We
Seattle.
saw
Is it
Gino. We saw
Gino's
enough.
job?
We saw enough of Gino. We saw
What
Gino.
are
We
you
saw what
talking
Gino
about with
does.
Drew Lock? The dude is a bum. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Did you
we
not
saw.
remember? No, 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 no. We did a league where Drew Lock got passed around something awful during the season because
Why is
nobody
Baker?
played him for more than a
Why
week
is
without
Baker
saying,
not in
"I need."
Seattle? Why is Baker not Seattle? That doesn't like it's just Baker is cooked, but he's not he's not Drew Lock or Geno Smith. Why
Because
is Baker not there?
because the people stuff matters and who wants to be around Baker.
Who wants to play with Drew
No,
Lock?
no, 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 no. All jokes aside, If you are
Who wants
going
to
to
be
be a
around Butker?
bad football game, a bad football team, if you are
Right.
going to be bad, do you want to be bad and annoyed at your quarterback all the time?
You don't.
Drew
You
Lock
don't.
seemed like a chill dude.
You don't.
He seemed like the type of dude that understands I'm getting these checks and I ain't that
You
good.
don't.
I'm gonna stay quiet, mind
Watch
my
your mouth.
business.
Mix. Watch your mouth.
Wait,
First of
who's
all,
West Coast Daniel Jones?
Drew Lock. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth, bro. I can't wait for Daniel Jones to be
Yeah,
all right. I can't wait.
yeah, like
I
Daniel
can't
Jones is
wait.
bad. He ain't that
I
bad.
can't
He
wait.
ain't that
Yeah,
bad.
man.
He's
Thank
not
you,
that
bro.
bad. He's
Thank you,
not that
bro.
bad.
Finally,
He's not
God
that bad.
damn, man. This shit is depressing. Rashad Penny,
Mhm.
and then 42, 41 and 42. Melvin Gordon, and I have J.D. McKissick here. Same thing. Pass catching running backs. There's no reason J.D. McKissick should be on this team if they feel what they feel about Antonio Gibson. It bugs me that J.D. McKissick is on this team because Antonio Gibson does enough to be that guy. You don't need a J.D. McKissick, but they kept him, and I want terrible things for the Commendatores.
Okay, so my tier six stretches to 46. A lot of similar names. However, there are a couple in here that I put in. I think that there are two elite handcuffs in the league, and I included them in tier six just because if there's an injury, they're going to pop up all the way to tier three type production, give or take.
Okay.
So I included them in tier six. Um, but a lot of the same players you have. You mentioned Naeem Hines. I have him at the very, very top of my tier seven, so we're not that
Okay.
far off on him.
Okay.
So JD McKissick, because he's like you said, he's just going to eat up touches. Like
Yes.
he's going to catch those passes. It is what it
Yes.
is. It doesn't make sense, but that's what they're going to do. My couple elite handcuffs, Alexander
Madison.
Madison, because the Dalvin thing, as I mentioned, if he gets suspended or if he misses a few games, nicks like he normally does. During those weeks, Madison will win you a week. Having him on your bench will be incredibly beneficial. The 40-degree day, hey, if McCaffrey's hurt, Chuba Hubbard is
Young
going to get a
Chuba.
lot of touches. He's not going to be particularly efficient with those touches, but he's going to get enough touches to be fairly productive. I have Daryl Henderson here as an elite handcuff as
Okay.
well. If Cam Akers gets hurt, Daryl Henderson was hugely productive last year. I think it would be the case once again. Raheem Mostert for the reasons you've mentioned.
Okay.
Ronald Jones,
Okay.
kind of in that handcuff thing with Fournette, but he's still going to have some value standalone as a low level flex. I don't
Yeah.
know quite
Yeah.
where to put him. I
Absolutely.
felt comfortable here. You mentioned we had that long talk about James Cook. I had him in tier six, but everything you said is true. Jamal Williams. Swift gets hurt. I feel really, really, really good
Okay.
about Jamal Williams. So, again, a lot of elite handcuffs. Uh, so, if you choose any of these players like Dalvin or McCaffrey, I think that you need to target these handcuffs a round or two early. If you want to go three and be safe and make sure you get them early, get them. It's worth it for these players. And I have Melvin Gordon. I
You're on the
love
board here.
I love Williams, but he's going to
Okay.
vulture a bunch of touchdowns. It is what it is.
Okay. That makes sense. All that makes sense to me. Tier seven is my kind of handcuff. What happens here to here? I've Devin Singletary at 43, just because I really do think James Cook is going to take this job earlier than the people think he does. Um, and this is my last tier. Also, like this gets me like 50. This gets me about 50 guys. Isaiah Spiller I have here
Okay.
because every single game with Austin Eckler, and I'm an Austin Eckler
It
owner.
fell off the
Like
bone.
it felt
Off
like
the bone.
I
Not
have a
like
key.
loose, not like torn a little bit.
It
Like
slithered off the
it's gone.
bone.
It's
There's his
gone.
bone, and his hamstring is not here anymore. Eh,
There's no string.
like
None.
I have a Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler setup waiting for me in our salary cap keeper league, and it's terrifying
But the
watching Austin
production
Eckler
is
play
so real.
football. But
It's
he's
fun. It's exciting. It's
unbelievable.
exciting. You never know what you're
Isaiah
gonna get.
Spiller makes it here because I need to see another name on here just to know, like, okay, this is the guy who I'll probably need to worry about in case it falls off the bone again, which hopefully it never does. It stays attached.
Last year they went to such a committee when he was hurt that I don't feel
They
comfortable
did.
about any handcuffing.
I don't
I just
either.
don't feel comfortable
They
about
spent
which one.
enough. Yeah, I mean, they spent draft capital on this Isaiah Spiller guy. They
That's
like
fair.
him. He
That's
does a
fair.
lot of
No,
the things Eckler does. That's fine. Kenneth Walker, I have here.
Okay.
I have Khalil Herbert here as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Is that
yeah,
more of a handcuff thing, or you just think he has standalone value as a flex?
I think he has standalone value as well. It's
Okay.
definitely a handcuff thing, but I think he has standalone value here.
Okay.
I have Damian Williams here. Um, I have Kenneth Gainwell
Okay.
here, Ramondre Stevenson, who should never see the field unless Damian Harrison needs help, but I'm going to put him here. And then this is where I have Madison and Hubbard, just because Alexander Madison is
He's really good.
really
I
good
don't
at
know why nobody
football,
has tried to
dude.
trade for him yet. Like,
He's
would
really good
Minnesota
at
take a
football.
fourth or third at some point? Because he's very, very, very good.
Alexander Madison on Buffalo is
He
incredible.
eat.
Like, is
He
beautiful there.
eat.
Like
He
that's a
eat.
really like he's really good. And this is where I have Chuba Hubbard
Alexander Madison in Buffalo is Cook. That's basically
is
how I
Cook
see it.
right now. Yeah, Cook with the touches. Like this is our guy.
Yeah.
Um, and for and it seems like we have a lot of the same guys and close to the same tiers. The big difference is obviously you have ATN at 17. I had him at 34, 32 or something like that. But
Hmm.
little things like that make sense. But I think you go back to the top.
Again, again, Haitian pride. I need my guy to show
Sock
out.
passe, I
Hey,
understand.
hey, I'm a Cowboys fan who never made a JPP joke because we got to stick together. We all
I
we got.
appreciated that.
We
I
all we
appreciated
got.
it so
I
much.
never made one. I never made a
I
single one.
really
It was not
appreciated it
funny to
too.
me.
I really appreciated that. But going back to the top, like I think listen on this. Who if you had to pick one guy from tier two who can finish as RB1,
I mean,
who's
I
that
got
guy?
McCaffrey in my tier two, so if
Yeah,
he's healthy, he's.
that's it.
But
That's
well,
it.
even beyond him, we talked about Dalvin. Dalvin and McCaffrey are tier one caliber players that I ding just a little bit because I don't feel as secure with them as I do my tier one players. But if they're healthy, they're going to produce. So both
Right.
of them can, for all intents and purposes, I think that everyone up to my number seven running back, who was DeAndre Swift,
Okay.
I know it sounds crazy, but I think everybody, including DeAndre Swift and up, can be RB1 for the season if
Okay.
everything just comes together and breaks perfectly.
Got it. Swift
Because
is my number
DeAndre
eight,
Swift,
but I agree.
I think he might catch 80 passes this year. I think Jared Goff, he's trash. But
I think he might catch 90 passes this year. I think it might just be let's get DeAndre Swift the ball,
I think it
and
might be if everything breaks right. I mean everything. I
if
could see
everything breaks
him
right, a thousand, I see it. If everything breaks right, I can see a
with
thousand rushing
with
with like 85,
16,
90.
16 to 18
Yeah,
touchdowns too.
yeah, right,
If everything breaks right, I feel very,
right.
very strongly about Swift this year. So that's
Austin
running
Eckler.
backs. Oh, my bad, my bad. It's off the
My
bone, but
last
he's
thing.
productive.
My
It's off
last
the bone, but
thing.
he's productive.
Austin Eckler. I see a path. Now, I think Derrick Henry finishes as the number one guy. I think he's back. I think
I
people
agree with
forget
you.
who he is. I think he finished as the number one guy, including excluding nobody.
I have him at the top of my board.
Austin Eckler, I can see with how this offense is going to be 2,300, 2,400 yards, 20 touchdowns, 75 catches, and everybody on at wide receiver still eats because
That
they're just
offense is
going to
going to
be
be
so
crazy.
high powered. Like I can just see him running for 13, receiving for 11, just something insane because every time he's in space, it's spooky. And
Okay,
I can see
so
him getting 20 I can just see it.
I see all of it. Here's the thing. I had Austin Eckler last year in a league that I care about. You have him in a league that we are in together. I think you might have had him in the second league. I don't remember that part. It's just so uncomfortable.
It's so terrifying.
Like he's very, very like production wise, I have him
It's
tier
so
one. He's so
scary to
good.
have him.
It is so uncomfortable to have him because at least once every game he looks like he's broken. at least
He
once
looks like it all
every
hurt.
single week.
He
Now he
looks
may
like
come back the very next drive and you're fine, but at least once a game he goes and your heart drops and you get
right.
that fantasy life alert and it's like Austin Eckler
Yeah.
in the blue tent. It's like, oh Jesus.
Yeah. And
And
then
your
you see
first
him
thought is
standing on the
and your
sideline
all
with no
and your
helmet,
first
and you're
thought
just
is,
like, oh,
does he have his hamstring? Is it still intact? That's not fun. That's not fun. This game can make me miserable enough without Austin Eckler.
without Austin
So
Eckler.
he's the guy that I think is a tier one player, but I prefer to have a couple of those tier two guys just from an enjoyment of my season standpoint.
I can understand that completely. Austin, whoo, me and you
He
this year,
tests your
man.
patience. He
It's me and
tests
you
your
this. It's
patience.
me and you this year. It's me, you, and Henry this year, my
Oh,
man.
one last thing about tier one. Jonathan Taylor, I just think he's going to be insanely
He's the
productive.
safest. He's the
I
safest
think
guy.
no matter how it goes, unless if he gets hurt, I don't see a way that he doesn't finish top five, which is why I
Absolutely not.
think so highly of him. I just think that Derrick Henry is an actual mutant, so I have him number one.
And he's angry. He's angry. He's upset. He's bothered by things. He doesn't like to be hurt. He didn't like what happened last year. He didn't like not scoring from the one, getting the 1 yard. Like he just little things like that.
I actually temporarily forgot that that happened. Jeez.
Yeah, yeah. He's bothered.
Yeah.
He's bothered.
I've seen like Derrick Henry has the most impressive because everybody puts out the workout videos. And you're like, yes, you're a professional athlete.
He's
You're
working
working
out
out.
with
I get it.
Rottweilers tied around
Nah,
his neck.
nah.
Like,
Derrick Henry, there and Aaron Donald. Derrick Henry and Aaron Donald. Their workout
oh,
regimens is like, nah, y'all are different.
yeah,
Y'all are
yeah,
different.
yeah. Donald's fighting with knives to get his hands. Stuff like it's just.
Nah, like Derrick Henry does certain things, and then you have to remember, oh yeah, he's also really, really, really
He's also
fast
really fast. He's
because he
also running
looks,
99-yard touchdowns. Like
because he's bigger than most. Forget linebackers. He is bigger than most defensive ends. He is bigger than the vast majority of them, and as fast as a cornerback. It does not make sense.
it's not fair. It's not fair, and he's pissed.
You know what? Derrick Henry has been given compound V. I'm convinced. There are people out there who know what I'm talking about. Like Derrick Henry is different. That shit is not natural, man. Not, like really, you should not be that. Like he is literally bigger than Adrian Peterson.
he
Adrian
is.
Peterson was like,
He was a
okay,
monster.
this is the new Bo Jackson. You shouldn't be that big and that fast.
Right.
No, Derrick Henry is that, but bigger and every bit as fast. He's scary. He's going to
Yeah.
have an angry and
He's
incredibly
gonna have an
productive year.
angry 2,000-yard season. It's just gonna be spooky.
And
That's
Ryan
running back,
Tannehill
man.
submit. And Ryan Tannehill
Yeah,
mid.
Tannehill.
He's mid without his top receiver. They're going to give Henry the rock
Catch,
a
yo,
lot,
catch
a
40 passes,
lot.
Henry. Catch 40 of them Giants. He was on pace for like 33 last year.
If
Give me
Derrick
40.
Henry catches 40, it's going to be one of those things where it's like you had Derrick Henry and didn't win the league. What happened? What
What
did you
happened? What
mess
did you
up?
do wrong?
What did you mess up?
What did you do wrong? That's running back, man. Wow. Now I'm just thinking about Derrick Henry leading me to everything I need to go to.
Hey,
I'm
I am still thankful for Madden League glory when I went for like 2,800 yards with Derrick Henry. Because again, Ryan Tannehill is mid. I learned by about week three. Give Henry the rock.
Give Henry the
Give
ball.
Henry the rock.
Give Henry the ball. We
Virtual,
appreciate,
real life
yeah,
don't
yo,
matter. Give him
listen.
the rock.
Just give him the ball. I don't care where you are. Derrick Henry should have 30 carries today, period. We are back. We're back Tuesday with, you know what? We're going wide receiver. We're back Tuesday with wide receiver. Wide
Yeah.
receiver is where it's going to get interesting. I
Most
got
of
some
our
things.
we had players in similar ranges. We just kind of valued our tiers
Yeah,
a little bit differently. But running back, we generally see fairly
we
similarly.
do.
Wide receiver, we do not see similarly.
We do
We
not.
have very, very different paths there, so that's going to be interesting. That'll be fun.
That's
We
that's
will
going to
go
be
in
fun.
cold once again. I will not know your rankings beforehand.
Yep.
I will just know that my rankings will be superior. But yeah, it'll be fun.
You got Joe Mixon at 3, dog. I don't want to hear anything about. You
You
got
harped
Mixon
on
at
him
3.
not getting 15
You
touchdowns.
got
He
Joe
can't
Mixon
get
at
15
3.
touchdowns. I'll just say he had
I don't
16
see it.
last year,
I
and you
see
just sit here
touchdown.
like,
Right.
and you
Touchdown
sit here like,
regression is the thing.
I
Oh,
have every
okay.
reason to believe that offense is going to be better. Like, look, you
I
want to
do
knock
too.
my Joe
I do
Mixon
too.
belief? That's fine. That's
I do
fine.
too. I have him
That's
at
fine.
7. I think he's going to be magnificent. Three is different, but there, of course, there's a path. I can always see if there's a path. There is a path to him being three that he will not reach this year. He'll reach seven. I don't see him. He's not going to have a path for three. And if he does, they call you the guru for a reason. I completely
Hey,
understand. I
hey,
completely understand.
hey.
Appreciate y'all hanging out
You
with
know,
us, man.
I like having
We
this
are
stuff on
back.
tape. I can
they
roll
call,
back and say, "Roll the
come
tape."
on, man. You know it's
I
all
like
love, man.
it.
You know,
I
listen.
like it.
You know how
I
it
like
goes,
it.
man.
Yeah, nah,
I'll
I
tell.
do.
Listen,
I do.
I'll tell the
I
world
do.
everything I tell you in person. B, it's
Hey,
good.
my
You
man.
alright out here, but mixing
Hey,
ain't gonna be three. I'll tell you that to your face too. Austin, listen. If you ever get this, Austin, me, you, and Henry, we got things to do this year. We got glory to go seek. On that note, we'll see you for wide receiver
that's uncomfortable. Anyway,
Justin Justin Jefferson, man. Ooh, Justin Jeff. I can't wait to talk about Justin Jefferson. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about I can't wait to talk about Justin Jefferson. Y'all gonna hate me because I'm about to mention a lot of names you don't see. You guys be easy. We appreciate it from my man BQ, the
hey,
great as always. I'm Ace. We're about to here. We'll see you guys one more time. Appreciate y'all hanging out.